And it looks like, yes, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you're doing well no matter where you are on this beautiful blue and green planet Earth. I'm here in Ontario, California with the team getting ready for the madness known as SEMA. For those of you who do not know what that is, it's the Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association. It's pretty much everything performance aftermarket and everything in between that and OEMs. It's a big event in Vegas, the biggest show at the convention center. Absolutely spectacular. It's where we at Bisimoto launch our technology and vehicles leading us into the next year. We have 6 vehicles that we're building. Yes, we're all in kitchens all the way from San Diego. Hello, Adam. Thank you so much for joining. It's just absolutely crazy. Good day to you, Artecmoto. Love your screen name as always. And thank you so much for joining. Yes, beautiful 935 at Cars and Copper, says PDJ Cause. Thank you for the kind words. This weekend, I went to one of the most magnificent events that I've ever been to in terms of cars and coffee. In this realm, it was known as Cars and Copters. It happened in Orange County at Huntington Beach near the pier. If you haven't seen it on my Instagram feed, I have a live that walked around. Imagine a huge venue, huge, with cars, exotics, supercars, hypercars, and also ridiculous helicopters. It's like a helicopter car show. Some people own both the helicopters and the cars on display. Everything from Porsche 935s that we brought to Bugattis, to Veyrons, to Paganis, Koenigsegg's. It was just ridiculous, you know. Flow, let's see, what is that? Flow, it's all the way from Malaysia. Thank you so much for joining. Is that a Locust behind you? It is a Lotus that's here. It's a Caterham 7 that we are doing some Bisimoto magic to. We're almost done with that. By the grace of God, we should start spinning wheels this afternoon. So that is pretty exciting. Chuck for the modern technology. This thing's gonna be terrifying to drive. I'll do lots of videos coming up soon. Galen Ross, good seeing you, sister. How are you? Thank you for joining. Saw you last time in the flesh at the Super Street After Dark event. So hopefully you're doing well and staying safe. And I have, for all of you here, I have Instagram right in front of me. I have YouTube Live to my right. To my left is my friends on TikTok. And through the podcast networks, we have, of course, Spotify podcasters, where if you type in Bisimoto on Spotify, you can listen to what we're doing here in an archiving moment, whether you're sitting on the loo, driving, working out, spending time with family, travel, flying around, whatever the case may be, you can still listen to our interaction. And speaking of interaction, we're gonna have plenty of that at SEMA coming up between November 4th through the 8th. It's in Las Vegas within the industry, but I will be there live and direct and do a Tech2sDay at the convention center. I also do lives walk around the show, choosing my best builds of the particular show. And I'll be able to cover the 6 crazy builds we have within those 4 days of the event. Yes, I'm crazy enough to have 6 builds, 5 EV, 1 petrol. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Chock full of modern technology with the looks to match. It's just gonna be absolutely fantastic. The Willy Birds were cool, says AV Overland Supply. So good seeing you, sir. Did I run into you that weekend? I met so many people. It was just a zoo. But yes, that was really cool to see both aircraft and automobile in one location. Have you heard the news about Cobb, says Josh Wonderbread. And Josh, if you're referring to them having to settle with the EPA with a fine, yes, I did hear that. So for those of you who don't know, one of the reasons why I don't do any dyno tuning anymore is because the Environmental Protection Agency have come down on any entities, and they love to make an example of popular ones. Any entities that have anything to do with modifying exhaust systems, intake systems, emissions, anything whatsoever that adjusts the emission standards coming out of car from factory. And Cobb had their wonderful flash, which we've used with much success, and they were fined with over $2 million from the EPA, and that really, really hurts. So that being said, it's painful, and I really wish, or hopefully they can find a way to contest that and get that reduced, if not eliminated. It's just really difficult for our industry right now, especially if you love anything petrol-based where tuning is involved, and it's on road. So if you're driving around, you just can't have anything that is modified in terms of emissions. What's up, Sunny21 on TikTok is asking what you do with the Insight. It's right there. It's in my showroom. The Insight is over there. I still have it in our possession. Is that Lunch Money's car? No, it's not. This car is actually owned by a very, very influential gentleman by the name of John Krafshek. He was the previous head of Hyundai, as the CEO of Hyundai Motors USA. He created that 100,000-mile warranty and 10-year warranty that everyone tends to enjoy. He was the genesis of that. Nice pun I did there. He also created the Genesis brand, or better yet, the Genesis line of luxury vehicles under the Hyundai moniker. He came up with that new luxury Genesis, and he was a part of the Equus, and came up with that iPad that's your instruction manual and a concierge service for you to allow individuals to experience a very high-end opportunity when their car needs some kind of repairs or service. Great guy. Then he left Hyundai and went to TrueCar for a while, left TrueCar and then went to Google and headed up Google's autonomous vehicle program known as Waymo. So the gentleman is great, just very influential. And we have this car here. This car initially was going to be an updated carbureted setup. Then it went to fuel injection, sequential with individual throttle bodies, and then now it's being electrified. So that being said, we're doing the final and most exciting part of his build, and he should have it in his hands any day now. Mark Hurston from live on YouTube is saying, yo, big bro, my fantasy is you building a classic throwback EK95 coupe with a D16 Z6 turbo with 2 electric motors with 75 horsepower each. I challenge you, it'll be a monster road racer. I agree, Mark, I appreciate the kind words, especially leaving the classic car show this weekend in Long Beach, known as JCCS, which is the Japanese classic car show. Everything that is like, I think it was pre-95 was there, and it was just an amazing event. So packed, the team was there with me, your family was there with me, it was just great, and there was so much opportunity to enjoy everything classic, whether it's infused or modern tech like our wagon with the sequential gearbox turbo K series, or some old school, Skylines are carbureted with side drive Solexes and Makunis. It was just a great show. So what he's talking about is the opportunity to explore a hybrid of sorts where there's a petrol engine combined with an EV platform. I may have something even better in mind for that. How about a D-series front and a single drive unit in the rear, combining forces to really drive that amazingly with a little bit more than 75 horsepower. Now, why don't we do 300 horsepower plus another 400 horsepower setup in the front, combined making 700 wheel, EV all-wheel drive, hybrid all-wheel drive. That'd be great, right? That'd be a really fun project to do. I'll talk to my friends at Honda and maybe we can make that dream come true. Vote is saying AM support isn't particularly helpful. That is very sad, but let me see what we can do to assist you, because I love those guys and they've been very kind to me. But do you know if the BMS 18 or Orion can be configured to not need CP or PP pins? I need the OBC to have these pins at all times instead. So you want an onboard charger to have your, when you say PP, I assume it's your pilot and signal pins. If you onboard charger, what are you trying to do? Corvote, what are you trying to do? Because what I have done is I have had the opportunity to use the output or input, I would say 1 and 2 on the Orion for my pilot and proximity, and then also have a separate segment for pilot and proximity for a different type of charging system. When combined with the CCS, I give my Orion control of the CCS through CAN, but then use a pilot and proximity going into the Orion. Let me know what you're trying to achieve in clarity, and that way I can be able to help you. Yeah, control, pilot, and proximity. Yeah, so pilot proximity, unless you're doing something very unique, if you're trying to have the AEM combined charging system with both the DC-DC and the charging system for your AC onboard charger to work in unison with your input plug, but you want a controller to be an intermediary. I haven't done that with the BMS 18, but I've done it very well with success with the Orion. The Orion controls and gets all the input from the proximity and also pilot, and then internally gives all the enable and discharge rate, or better yet, charge rate and feedback to the CCS. So CCS has nothing to do with the AM VCU 200 or has nothing to do with the VCU 275. It's just being controlled by the Orion. So yes, control, pilot, and proximity. I see that. I see what you're saying, Corvo. So let me know if I'm going down the right path here to assist you. This is dead, isn't it? Yeah, my thing here is dead. Anyway, let me know if that is what you're going for. I'm trying to make the VC200 and BMS 18 work with the Tesla Model 3 three-piece charge, but the PCS absolutely must see the pins at all time. But the 18 seems to need these pins to do things VCU wake, like the VCU wake. I get it now. So you want to be able to use a Pilotproxim to wake up the VCU to control your charging, but you want the VCU to also control, maybe via CAN or dash, your charger, your Model 3 charger. I assume your Model 3 charger also controls your DC to DC and your onboard charging. If that's the case, I don't know why you cannot split the signals. Must see the pins at all time, but the video uses those pins to see. I may need to see a flow chart. We may have to talk about this offline so I get a better idea of what you're trying to do. I think we may be able to come up with a concept that can work for you. You may have to use a PDU in between to act as a wake and give it certain criteria to turn on your VCU wake. Or use a separate switch for your VCU wake, which could be activated by your onboard charger. Is there an output on the Tesla Model 3 onboard charger that can turn on the VCU or send a ground signal to turn the VCU when it's needed and not when it's not? Maybe there's a way we can do. Maybe we can do that, you know? I thought flow chart, but I don't think there's a way to duplicate the CV pin signals to 2 bits. Send me a flow chart. Let's see what we can do. Sorry guys, we're talking crazy EV stuff here. Sorry about that. Oh, Jelen said she saw me at the Cars and Copters, but I was doing my live and then I disappeared. Yeah, it was crazy there. Always great seeing you, sister. Thank you so much. See you at SEMA, says HHWHH Panda. Absolutely, should be a great one indeed. How many hours invested in your SEMA projects, BC, doing more reality TV shows? Jonathan, how many hours do you think we put in? God, it's counted. A chap is asking how many hours we put into the SEMA project. He's laughing. He's like, you see him back there? It's countless. Because we have cars that have been in paint over a year, well over a year. It's not ours. And and then we've built stuff in anticipation of receiving the car. I'll give that some thought. It's hundreds of man hours. It's ridiculous. Giovanni, good seeing you indeed. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. You're a Honda expert, right? Says Spencer. I've dabbled a little bit in Hondas, yes. Have you built a Volvo 5 cycle? Says Adam Hunt 91. No. Most of the cars I have here, whether it's a Porsche, look at Hondas here. There is also a Hyundai that we have on the other side. Those cars exist in our facility because we built a relationship with those manufacturers. I don't have a relationship with Volvo at all. That's why you haven't seen any Volvo builds here at Bisimoto, unfortunately, you know? So that being said, hopefully that answers your question properly. Update on Panamera Dakar. I am not building that at this time, Brooklyn's. Above and beyond the projects we have in-house, we have a plethora of client projects that we're building here. Everything from a Neo EP9 to a Porsche 930 here, a couple of Porsche 930s, VW bus. There's a lot going on here. The Panamera Dakar is not something on our radar here at Bisimoto. Future of EVs in drag racing. I think it's quite strong. Last week, I had the opportunity to participate in the Motor Trend, better yet, Hot Rod Tour, which was 5 days, 5 different cities, starting off from Pomona. I went drag racing there. I should post that video. Ran some really fun times there. So because of the ability of immediate torque with drag racing, that's a huge advantage. And the fact that EVs can do that very nicely and not fall off very rapidly, and just you've seen factory bone stock Lucids and bone stock Plaids just raping guys on the track, just killing it out there. I think it's very strong, and the future is very, very unique and lots of opportunity. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is going to be amazing. If anything, I foresee rules where they have to slow these cars down because it's really getting out of control. Street cars on street tires running 8s. It's really, really, really bananas, you know? I've been thinking about that, but a manual trans for D16. I like the D16 gearboxes, but my favorite of the D family that has the same bell housing bolt application is from the first generation Acro Integra. So the 1986 to 89 Acro Integra has a D16A1. I think A9 is also another variant of that, and ZC twin cam. And that gearbox is robust. It's what I use for drag racing. I was running 28-inch slicks, making well over 400 wheel horsepower. Did not break this thing. Steel forks, has a 5th gear outside of the gearbox housing, which that gearbox housing with 2 bearings acts like a handcuff. You know, a handcuff that people do as an aftermarket mod to strengthen a B series or H series gearbox. This D series gearbox has a stock with a cap, so you can easily change your 5th gear if you need to for some top speed racing or for can carving, whatever you want to do. It's really very, very, very robust and extremely user friendly. And you can find them in junkyards for little or nothing. You can find them in pick parts. People just leave them, they don't like them. But that is a very good transmission with a lot of opportunity there as well. I owe you a vanilla mold, says Born a Drummer. Oh my God, it's my very, 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 very close good friend. Good seeing you so much. How are you, sir? So just to give you guys an example, this gentleman, and I don't want you guys are stalking him, but he is a very accomplished actor. This gentleman also was part of Hot and Oates as a drummer. He did all you could do back in the day, was almost a permanent resident at the Fontainebleau in Florida. Very great, just amazing celebrity. And the Rolls Royce that I'm building right now, him and I are gonna do a nice video around it because that's kind of his panache. He has this elegance about him that will really just embrace the Rolls Royce that Jonathan and I have been building with a team for the past few months now. And that's in upholstery now, getting just done. It'll be launched at SEMA in the SEMA Toyo booth, the Trespass. So, so good seeing you, sir. I didn't know you were even on TikTok. I thought you were only on Instagram, but I'm glad seeing you, and we need to get together soon. We really do, sir. So thanks so much for being a great individual, and I look forward to hanging out with you and cruising to 50s Cafe and getting some malt. That'd be great. I love the shakes in 50s Cafe. It's like a blast of the past. You go in there, feel like in the 50s. It's just absolutely fantastic, you know? Sheep Shepherd on TikTok says, BC, how are you? Hope you're doing great. I'm doing well. We are very busy here at the shop. I'm anticipating some sleepless nights. The team is not too excited about that, but it's something that has to happen to get us prepared for the SEMA show coming up. 6 cars we have that we're building, and unfortunately, we only have 1 done. Hopefully, we'll have 2 by the end of the week. By next week, we shall have all of them done by the grace of God, but wish us luck. Miss you on Sunday, but I'll text you later, says AV Overland Supply. Will do, sir. And for those of you who are in Southern California area, especially if you're near the Antelope Valley region, AV Overland Supply is your go-to place when it comes to everything off-roading. I'm scared to visit his facility because I feel I'll get sucked in and just sell everything and start doing some overland stuff because it's a lot of fun. But that being said, yeah, you know, you'll be good. Praying for that electric rose at SEMA. It's already done, Corvolt. It's running, it's driving. We're doing interior here. When it comes back here, we have to do some little massaging to the body, throw on some wheels. It's bagged, it's sick. And there's gonna be a Toyo pin of that given away at the Trespass. So if you go to SEMA, visit there, get there early so you can get a pin. I think a pin is given away for specialty cars every day of the week for that particular week at SEMA. So get yours. The Rolls Royce is one of those. So it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your prayers, Corvolt. Thank you so much. Backup power system for camping. You can do that with EVs, but I didn't set up for bidirectional capability on any of my cars. This Neo EP9 that we're working on and the Rolls Royce has the wiring and protocol for it. I just haven't activated that. And that's something, God, a Rolls Royce would be kind of weird having camping outlet capabilities. Maybe powering a house would be pretty cool. Or powering up a luxury tent somewhere. Let's say at the upcoming, at maybe the next Cars and Copters, I'll bring it out and power up a tent with the Rolls Royce. That'd be pretty dope, right? You know? Anyway, okay, let's see here. Hi, BC, I hope you're doing good, says Emmanuel Juinta. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. And speaking of the guy who painted the Rolls Royce, he's here. Look who's here. Sergio's here. Come here. So this chap, this is the guy I was just talking about, Corvolt, you're asking about praying for the Rolls Royce. So this is the guy, Sergio. There he is. He painted the car. And when it comes back from upholstery, he has to do some wet sanding. And there's a little tray that he has to put on the front bumper. So it's going to be pretty cool indeed, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I am doing well, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for asking. Beast, I need your help with my truck, says Jalen Ross. Having problems with it. Is there any way I can DM you, please? Yes, the only thing is that we're swamped for this coming SEMA, but I have a gentleman who I trust. If you're not too far away from, how should I say, Santa Fe Springs, there's a friend of mine by the name of Duran. He has a company known as Pirate Auto Group. He should really help you. Very honest guy, great pricing, very, very good, amazing tech mechanic. He can help you. But DM me anyway, Gillen, and we'll make something happen, okay? Fox Designs, etc. Greetings to you. Yep, it's Tuesday, SEMA Crunch. Let's go. And the thing is, God, Fox Designs, I love this chap. Paul, that's the name of the owner of this entity, has been a huge advocate of our program. The wagon I took this weekend to JCCS, if you looked in the wagon, there's this beautiful wood paneling that's on the dash. He did that. People were jocking my little rearview mirror holder. He hooked that up as well. It was absolutely fantastic. He made that. And for the Rolls Royce, it seems to be the car of the hour, right? He's doing the entire wood interior. So when you go to SEMA and you look at that beautiful interior with the wood grain and the Tiffany blue, look at his work. He did that from scratch. It's absolutely beautiful. He kind of resuscitated this thing, stained it, made it beautiful, just brought it back to its old school, better than old school English glory. Is just absolutely fantastic. So it's pretty good indeed. Right on, says Lucky Life 2068. Thank you so much, sir. Japanese Classic Car Show is here. Thank you so much for a wonderful event. And for those of you who were not able to make it, it was a star-studded event. Absolutely fantastic. That show had people like Cody Walker come by. Let's see, Joe Gatt of Black Adam and Dumbo and what's the Banshee fame? He was there. Sung Kang from Fast and Furious was there. Sean Lee. It was just an amazing event. So I was there as a judge with Sean Lee and a nice gentleman by the name of Ben. We're there doing some wonderful things, and it was just an amazing show indeed. So that being said, thank you so much, Japanese Classic Car Show, for putting together the world's most premier classic car show affiliated with Japanese cars. Hopefully I can be in attendance next year. It was a very long day judging, but I had a great time doing that. Congratulations to all the winners. And this is a show that for you to win, you don't just build an amazing car, right? What you do at this show is you have to have this strong connection with your vehicle. Either a great story combined with your hands getting dirty and building that. It was just an amazing place. And for the winners, it was hard to make decisions because there were so many amazing cars, hundreds of amazing cars. But in our classes, we had to choose the top 3, and we're able to do that. So it was a great time. So thank you, Japanese Classic Car Show, for doing what you do. Looking forward to next year. All right, let's see here. Josh Wonderbread says, I need to go. Where are you to find these transmissions? The junkyards where I live. Leave the junkyards after the first few days. Well, honestly, pick apart. I go online, I download their app, I look and I find them. From sometimes you do find these Integras coming up. You can also use, and I have no affiliation with this website, but it's a very popular one indeed, car-part.com. So car-part.com. You search for 1986 or 87, you put Acura, you put Integra, you look for transmission, and it shows all across North America, including Canada and US, those parts available and pricing and the number of the place. You can give them a call and see if they have it available. So it is pretty cool. Josh Wonderberg says, fortunately, the internet is caught up and I've finally found a few safe online after searching for 5 years. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. 718 Mojito, good seeing you. How are you? Caterham 7 is my favorite car next to the Honda CRX. Says Bunta 98086. Fun, fun, fun. Guys, it's a fun car. I've never had so much fun under 100 horsepower than I have with the Caterhams. And this is going to be north of that with almost 200 pound-foot of torque. This is going to be a monster, you know? BC, been trying my late best to bring you my Odyssey so you can work on it. Let us know. There's a little bit of a wait, but we can make it happen. Ishmael Yanis says, BC, super glad to see you're going strong. Thank you so much. Can't do it by myself. I have a great team. Your Blue Wagon was one of my biggest influences of getting this info. This more than crack expensive addiction. Yes, it's pretty bananas indeed. I agree, but it's enjoyable and it's not as bad as crack because it doesn't hurt your health. You lose your teeth, unless you fall in your car, have an axle fall in your mouth. Anyway, but nonetheless, it's a It's a disease, but it's a pleasurable one that doesn't hurt you as much. Odyssey is what I'm aiming for. I need something similar, not the same, but similar. Make it happen. The more performance Odysseys, the better. We should push for more nuclear power plants to get power grids so it can support the rise of more EV sales. So Josh Wonderbread, you bring up a very good point, and I would try my best not to go on a soapbox. And thank you so much, HRZA420, for saying I'm a legend. I appreciate that indeed. The grid is no longer an issue when it comes to EVs. We've increased EV sales globally by over 8-fold in the past 5 years. The grids have handled without question. If anything, what has happened is EVs have helped grid supply. And you wonder, how does that happen? Well, because of the plethora of EV manufacturing, it's made batteries much more cost effective. Local utilities have had the opportunity to now buy storage systems, charge up, and yes, they do store batteries as well, charge them up during the times that people don't use it, at least prior to 4 p.m. every day when the sun is most high, taking advantage of the solar that they have and other people have as well to put into the storage capacity opportunities, and then discharging in the evening when people are home. So it's helped. EVs are not that detrimental, and we see less brownouts or blackouts nowadays than we did before, only because of battery storage opportunities that existed because of EVs. Do you know what the biggest problem is in terms of demand on the grid? Not EV cars. Two big ones. One has been a problem, and another one is an emerging problem. The first one is mining. What type of mining am I talking about? Bitcoin. Bitcoin mining is so demanding, ridiculously demanding on the grid, that's causing significant problems where people have to move to areas or put their stations, their mining stations, to areas where there is abundance of supply and not that much demand, sometimes even like Iceland, and that has a huge demand on it. Above and beyond that, the emerging one that's coming up is AI. You won't believe how much energy it takes to drive one AI search. Oh, let me put it in perspective. Do you know that one artificial intelligence drawing, just a painting, takes as much energy as your refrigerator at home for 30 minutes? Think about that. So imagine when you do a motion picture or multiple pictures. Imagine when you do and a search, one word search via AI consumes about 1/16 of that. But imagine when you do a whole sentence, or you have it create a whole paragraph for you, or a whole story. We are in trouble. If we don't find a way to create more clean energy to support AI, we are in big trouble. And I'm not even talking about some other side things that can really be detrimental to the grid, like storage. When I talk about storage, like some of the data centers out there, at least Amazon and some other entities like that are trying to create their own energy generation opportunities using solar. But yeah, guys, EVs are far from a challenge. We can all drive EVs significantly and it will not hurt the grid at all. We just don't generate. If anything, it will help with even more cost-effective storage for our entities. The problem is otherwise. Problems are mining of Bitcoin and also what I mentioned earlier in terms of AI. We are in trouble. If we don't find a way to do this, it's dozens of terabytes. Not even terabytes. I'm talking about in terms of energy being consumed, terawatts, just dozens of terawatts a month can happen if we don't find a way to mitigate this or find a way to address it. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, let's see here. I also can't wait for the EVs to move away from lithium. There's a huge deposit of lithium found in Wyoming. Well, lithium is actually something that's not so bad. Lithium can be mined and it's not consumed. Unlike crude oil that you mine it and then you burn it and it goes away into the atmosphere and never is recovered, lithium can be recycled. And it's not as detrimental. And the deposit found in Wyoming is pretty good. I think some were found in California as well. It's not bad at all. Cobalt is the one that I'm a little more sad about, but at least cobalt has not been an issue for refining or desulfurizing crude forever. And people are starting to move away from cobalt in manufacturing of batteries for EVs, especially as we move more forward towards solid state. So that being said, yeah, it's not a big challenge. I can't wait to make it to SEMA. I hope to see you walk around the Rolls Royce at some point through the channel or something here. Yes, I will. Definitely here, guys. I'll go through all the cars and just go through it with vigor. I have a 2.7 Silverado, says Dominic P. Desi on TikTok. What mods could I do to make it faster but won't break the bank? Simple. Intake, exhaust. There's so many exhaust systems out there that bolt on for the Silverado. If you don't want to invest in a bolt on, you can go to a local muffler shop and get like a Dynamax Ultraflow. That's what I did to mine. It's a free-flowing exhaust, allows you opportunity to have a lot of fun and remove some of that back pressure that takes away power. And a cold air intake, especially ones made by K&N, are a lifesaver. If you're outside of California, you can be able to buy those without qualm. And that being said, that's an easy, cost-effective way to make a lot of power, get a nice tone without breaking the bank. Hopefully that helps. All right, it was a super time with you, says Japanese Class Car Show. Thank you so much. I had a great time. I look forward to next year as well. Ruben S, good seeing you, brother. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you as well, Japanese Classic Car Show. Fox Design says, I appreciate the kind words. By all means, I appreciate you. They're all true. You're just a great advocate for us, and you make my cars better. Glad to see my friends win awards. Very motivating stuff at the show, says Bunta9086, and the best is yet to come. I'm glad your friends are keeping things going and embracing this opportunity that we have as enthusiasts. Favorite under-par car besides Miata, because Miata is always the answer, says Josh Wonderbread. That right there. Caterham Lotus 7. These things, some of them make, this thing came in making 38 horsepower. And it was fun. And it's gonna be more fun because we more than tripled that power. So yeah, that, what's right behind me? It's a great question. There's quite perfect timing because I have the perfect car behind me that's not a Miata. I want to see the Caterham Monster. Okay guys, I would totally do a video. When I'm done with this, I'll do a proper video and get that going. Paulo Tomas Studio, very talented concept artist. Thank you so much for joining Bisimoto on our Tech2sDay. Appreciate that indeed. The energy to power the grid is there. Look at Japan and other nations to implement new technology advancements, everything from human food traffic to harnessing electricity from thunder strikes. Yes, and even hydro, even using aerofoils with wind. There is even this thing that Bill Gates is working on where it takes from nuclear waste, grabbing that energy and recycling. There are even salt opportunities where you can have salt deposits, put it in there as heat and recover it back as electricity. There's so many renewable, great ways, safe ways to harness electricity and make it happen. And we're getting there little by little. We're consuming, at least in California, less and less natural gas and getting more and more on renewable resources for energy. I'm very excited about the things in this technology sector and what it has for us as a whole. That's why I only do 2 AI-generated images a day, says Bunta. Yeah, that's kind of you, but imagine that. You're consuming an hour worth of a refrigerator just on images. It's crazy, right? We should be more worried about that than automobile. I was in paragraph, said Bunta. Yep, it does it. Paranoid said, oh shit, what's up, BC? Good to see you still getting it. Thank you so much. I am here, even though I have to leave very soon because we still have projects going on. We still have a lot to do. Haven't even had lunch. I had a banana and a little bit of granola. I need to eat and then get back to work. Anyway, all right, guys. The Gearhead Court, it said, okay, what did I miss? You missed a lot. We talked about renewable energy. We talked about the best gearbox as a D series. We talked about SEMA projects coming up. We talked about combining Orion or AEM BMSs in conjunction with the Model 3 onboard chargers and DC to DCs. We talked about doing a hybrid setup on a Civic, incorporating a petrol engine and either 2 or 1 drive units to make the all-wheel drive wonder of a future. We talked about SEMA and what projects we have going there, how we only have 1 of 6 done, and we're gonna have a lot of sleepless nights. We talked about a lot of things, you know. Long live the D16, says Harley Renicky from YouTube. Hello, Alan Villatoro. Thank you so much for joining. I want to get in touch with you about charging stuff. Better DM on IG or email. IG, DM me on IG, that's better. Even though I get tons of it, I will look for you, Corvote, fellow engineer, fellow enthusiast, and also EV file, if that's even a word. Anyway, all right, guys, maybe I gotta fly. And I know I usually stay maybe 10, 20 minutes longer than this, but we have so much to do. I will be here next week to chat with you guys again, and the following week and the proper week at SEMA, I'll be doing a live there on all my networks as well. So in the meantime, guys, stay safe. Look forward to seeing you soon. And yeah, be good. And for those of you on the East Coast, I hope the climate's not affecting you too much. Anyway, take care, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.